hurry up and get started with this review so you can put that goddamn book down, Leon.
Oh, I'm sorry that I'm the one member of the crew that can read.
Yeah.
We got ourselves a reader.
I know. Oh, a smart guy.
Yeah.
Think
Reading
y'all
books and shit.
think y'all smart and shit.
What you reading for?
Yeah. We watch movies, man. We don't read books.
Yeah.
You think you special?
Hey, man, I got to mix it up a little bit here and there.
Not here, you don't. You don't bring them
I
things
should
in
have
this
never
house.
read in front of you guys.
You give me a call when they turn that shit into a movie, all right?
I think they have already. It's basically the Bible he's reading right now.
This book is only good for one thing. Wow.
I'm sorry, I want to take a break from our usual 15 minutes of watch you hover over the button and mumble to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because I wasn't even mumbling. I was talking to you when I came in. You just weren't listening. Seriously, I came in and I said, hey, man, I was talking to him, and he just slowly ignored me and just reading his book.
Now, in Leon's defense, I've read that book too, and it is better than you.
I'll give you that.
Truth is, I wasn't even actually reading. I just wanted to ignore it.
Those goddamn dust buddies in the corner are more interesting than I am.
Leon was hoping the further I put my book in his head, maybe Corey will get the idea. I don't want to talk to him.
Shut up. Yeah.
He didn't even notice I had the book upside down.
Yeah. Another reason why I want to do this review, I was like, so what you think about Gravity, man? Fuck you, man.
Whatever.
Now I can get his opinion now that we started the review.
He's like, I don't watch movies.
Yeah, so
I go to see films.
yeah, man, Gravity. Everybody's been talking about this Gravity. It's been showing at film festivals.
Yeah, Gravity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
damn it.
Sequel to Open Water, right?
Thank God
Everybody-
it's actually good. Otherwise, we'd all get tired of the Gravity sucks pun.
Well, you said you and James Cameron. Damn, even blew James Cameron's mind. He's like, shit, I made Avatar and this shit impressed me. It's almost like can't nobody make a special effects movie better than me. So if I tell you your shit is good,
Yeah,
then you know.
Cameron actually called it the best film that was ever set in space. I was like, wow.
Wow.
Oh, he went on to say, except for aliens.
Except for that one. That was
right.
space, right?
It's no aliens, but as space films go.
Well,
all
actually,
right.
what I mean is a film that's literally in space, not on someplace that's in space.
Yeah. Well, this is actually a great piece of science fiction right here, man. I'm kidding. I'm just waiting for y'all to open your eyes now. So somebody actually wrote an article. They had to explain to people, look, this is not science fiction, really.
No.
It's like
Some shit that actually can happen, right?
it's fictitious and it's set in space, but you know, don't think there's
mean, it's
fucking
a-
aliens are gonna pop up.
I
in
mean,
this
I would think that is the very definition of science fiction.
Well, there's a fine line because I mean, like they did a lot of work on this on trying to make it so the science was
Yeah.
tight, as it were. I mean, there are NASA scientists who work on like the script of this, of trying to say yes, this is plausible, yes, this could happen. No, George Clooney probably would not be in space, but that's neither here nor there.
Neither Sandra Bullock.
We won't let him leave the planet just in case he doesn't come back.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I don't know,
you
he's
know,
rich
I mean,
enough.
the scenario is one that hasn't actually happened, which is the idea that basically there's so much debris flying around the planet at high speeds that it's demolishing everything that's up that we've got up there. We don't want to get
that is
demolished.
killing actors. You know, no, it's
No, we must defend George Clooney at all costs.
yes. No, and I'm not. I know what you're saying, but they want people to know that this is not a fantasy. You know, this
Right.
is something that
Yeah.
they say it could be plausible. They went out of their way. This movie's getting praised for saying, all right, you know what? They went out their way to get the physics of whatever physics is involved in floating in space. They tried their best to be as correct as they could.
It's a
with
real
that.
world thriller. It just happens to be in orbit around the planet Earth.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, it's what you want in a realistic space movie where, like, say, like, look, there's no sound. I mean, you got to have something, but they keep it muted to where you really believe it. Also, in space, Sandra Bullock cannot catch a break.
No, she cannot. And you know, in this,
She should have brought her black man with her. I mean, what the hell did she adopt him for?
he could have floated in front of her and kept off some of that debris. Exactly. About that big Negro from the Blind Side.
Blind
block
Side,
all that shit.
yeah, he was a blocker,
I
right?
know you're not exactly being my blind side right now.
I thought that guy represented space, but
Yeah. Well, shit, his big ass is the worst breed they can fly into you. Shit, the little satellite chunks of nothing with a big ass black man's coming your way.
The little satellite junk's like, oh, excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't see
I
that.
keep
Don't
bumping
take
into
my
you.
wallet.
Go around.
Yeah, but no, you're right here. Sandra Bullock is a scientist. I don't know what kind. She's
Space scientist.
She's a space scientist. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Rhinestone. This is the first space shuttle mission, and George Clooney is the veteran astronaut, Matt Kowalski.
Yeah.
And
Last day on the Force.
yeah, that one more space mission. But
I got to break this record.
But yeah, they're out there doing their routine mission, and while they're doing that spacewalk, that moonwalk, and there's debris from a satellite that's exploded, and
It's a Russian
all,
satellite.
yeah, and it's all you can't trust those Russians.
No.
Man. Even their fucking trash is dangerous.
They're always blowing shit up.
But that debris just comes rushing their way, man, and it just starts taking out everything within its path. So if it can destroy all this metal and whatnot, then humans don't have a chance.
Explorer, this is Houston.
Go ahead, Houston.
Mission abort. Repeat. Mission abort.
Explorer, this is Kowalski confirming visual contact with debris. Debris is from a BSC sat. Repeat. I have it right.
Dr. Stone requesting faster transport.
We have to go. We have to go, go,
Kennedy
go.
reports meteorological conditions. Go, go.
Houston, Explorer, copy. Explorer, Dr. Stone requesting faster transport to Bay Area. Explorer, do you copy?
Explorer, permission to retrieve Dr. Stone.
Your go, Kowalski. Houston, this is Explorer, copy.
All right.
We've lost Houston. We've lost Houston.
Look, we need to get the hell out of here. Need some help there, man? No, don't wait for us.
It's stuck.
Man down.
Houston, this
Man
is
down.
Copy. Houston, this is Explorer, copy.
They become stranded, no communication to Earth. They only have communication with each other, and they have to figure out a way to get back to gravity. So, I'm thinking about, man.
Jesus Christ. Let Cyrus do these things.
I'm actually thinking about that movie where, do you remember that movie? I know there's a little side note here, but what was that movie, Daylight?
Sure. Wait, Stallone?
Stallone.
Yeah.
And they had that one scene in the movie where it was a black guy dying. I forgot the guy's name, but he was telling one of the actresses, he says, "You've got to get them out of here. You've got to get them to daylight."
NC. Are you going to use that in the trailer?
But this, one of the things that's everybody is talking about is that, all right, they say, well, you heard it before in space, no one can hear you scream, and don't need an alien to tell you that shit. Don't need a science fiction film to tell you that shit. Really here, they got it down to where you even said that there's no sounds in space. You get to a certain point where your communication is cut off. And there's this whole thing where they do everything with sound, not only with people communicating with each other, but there's explosions that are muted. There are things that just and it's that feeling of isolation from sound, from people, from Earth
From help.
that makes it terrifying.
Well, the big thing that makes it terrifying, like, yes, no sound, no air, no heat, but no friction. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Because when you start going, there's nothing to slow you down. That's why, like, when that debris, like, you think about debris just floating aimlessly, but if it's been exploded and it's moving, there's nothing that's slowing it down. So it's all just a bunch of bullets coming at you.
That is unless you have a jetpack.
yeah,
Always wear a jetpack.
which can push you in a direction.
you got a cool ass jetpack.
As long as you have the fuel to send you back and forth, you could just go one way and just keep on going.
Yeah, that's
It's like,
the other thing.
Bye-bye.
They're limited on what resources that they have.
Yeah,
Fuel
and-
for the jetpack, oxygen. I mean, fuck, man, everything's against them.
Yeah, once you run out of cheese whiz, it's over.
Every time they find a new resource, that shit makes another orbit.
I know.
I know.
They ran out of Tang.
And that's the cool thing is that they keep reminding you that this debris is flying around
Yeah.
the Earth. So it's only a matter of time before it's going to come back and fuck you again if it didn't get you the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, we made it.
And that's where the tension really is in this movie. I know a lot of people have been like just worried that, man, please don't tell me this is another open water / open space. Where you're just going to see two people floating in space for like 2 hours. I'm like, I hope to God not, because that would suck.
I will say, I liked Open Water. I thought it was a pretty good movie, but this is very good in a very different way because you got Alfonso Cuarón, who Cuarón, who does astonishing things with cinematography in this film. I mean, I'm so sad I didn't get to see the IMAX version of this. Even like
Yeah, you missed it,
fucked
man.
up, dude.
man,
You
shit.
fucked up.
The rep
We were in that
today
shit.
was like, you weren't at the IMAX screening of Gravity. I was like, no, I saw the previous one. And he just said, dumbass.
Oh, you know what?
I was like,
Where did you
I
see
know.
it?
I saw the regular 3D screen.
Oh man,
Oh,
the
you
regular,
fucked up.
the regular screenings of these, they be getting terrible reviews, man. You know, they said the only way to see it is IMAX.
Well,
Sorry.
I've heard that
You,
it really
you pretty much
does-
didn't see the movie.
It really does make a difference, and it's just even in the way I saw it, it's just gorgeous. It
Yeah.
so puts you there in space that like there's not a lot of sort of horror / thriller or whatever's that focus on isolation and agoraphobia. You know,
Yeah.
usually it's claustrophobia. This is like there ain't nothing anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's
And it works, and it's scary and totally hauntingly beautiful at the same time. To
yeah,
watch.
yeah. Ain't nothing. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, even when you think about like, okay, if the worst came to worst, and I start floating out there, and nobody can pull me back, and I got nothing that's going to slow me down, no planet I can get to, how bad can this be? And at one point, you see a corpse and just how bad it can be, and it's like, oh shit, I don't want to die like that.
Yeah,
No, that was that's some of the nicer touches that this movie actually has to offer, and like I was saying, it definitely keeps itself moving. I mean, there's definitely an objective. I was like, man, I played this shit. It's called Dead Space when I was floating
Man,
around
you know what?
and trying to like survive and have enough
Man,
oxygen just
I
to
didn't-
get from point A to point B.
I don't want to say anything, but the whole
Say
time
it.
I was watching, I was thinking of Dead Space.
Oh, yeah.
because Dead Space actually got right with space what a lot of movies didn't. You took like the explosions that we're talking about,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. But they finally brought it to the screen, and it's harder to do on the screen because there's so many scenes in this movie where it's just one shot.
Oh, yeah.
Of people floating. It's just one shot. You're going from one. It's just tracking from one thing to another, and you really don't get you really don't understand how complicated that is until there's a scene where Sandra Bullock has to go into a space station.
Yeah.
You begin to see just how busy things are. And that's another thing about the movie. I mean, okay, yeah, you got the premise, which is terrifying. You're alone in space. You could possibly die with nobody around to hear you. And you suffocate to death. Horrible, yes. But the other thing about this film, like I said, is just watching how the little details that they got right. I mean, Sandra Bullock, she finally takes her suit off, and she's floating. And you start to look to see, okay, they don't see. They think they know. They think they know everything. They're gonna fuck this hair up. Watch. I'm paying attention because I know how space works. And you see,
I think you know how a different kind of space works.
No, I don't think Space Jam counts.
I watch Star Wars. I watch Star Trek.
Yeah, please Major Matt Mason.
Yes.
That's how space
I
works.
know how space works.
I drew space once.
and I am proud to say that they got it right. If you look at Sandra Bullock's hair, there's little strands that float every now and then. You know it's done in CG, and then her environment. Now you think that, and then the movie, you're thinking that, okay, how long can they go with this premise of her just floating there waiting to die? Well, they do certain things. I mean, there is a certain video game aspect to this where, okay, I got to float from this object
Right.
and blast myself to that object over there and hop over to this right here.
It's her curse and advantage that space is filled with shit.
Oh,
Because it's a curse. Because like once shit starts flying around like wreckage, it just creates more and more wreckage out of previous, wreckage, and then you're just got a fucking thunderstorm of wreckage everywhere. The other advantage is there's goddamn spaceships all over the fucking place.
Well, the disadvantage is that they're all in different languages. That's the thing I kept wondering. Oh shit, how the hell is she supposed to read that? This shit's like Chinese.
Just start pushing every button and see what happens.
It's on the say launch that launch. Yeah, just going to like all these different ones: Russian, Chinese, Mexican. What's this button do?
The flying sombrero in space. Was that their
Yeah, the hydraulics start going.
Space beam.
Yeah, space beam.
The hydraulics.
but there are moments where characters are alone, and when that happens, they have to make characters out of other things, and other things start to take on an ominous personality. They really do personify certain things. Like Sandra Bullock is going by these wires, and you look and you see these little embers of fire just dancing around, and they're almost gremlin-like, and you think
they're all like la 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 la.
yeah.
Oh, ain't that you flying by? Oh, ain't that cute?
Yeah, you looking at it, you can already see them tearing shit up, and you wish you see that, because if she doesn't, then you know that's going to get out of control. And
Potential problem.
They do things like puff out these little ringlets of fire, and it's like, all right, you know what? That seems villainous right there. Stupid fire.
Now, tell me this. Now, in the beginning, like when things first start going bad, and she's being twisted around and screaming, ah, 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 and George Clooney saying, grab something, and she's going, ah, ah. Is there any part of your brain that's going, damn, bitch, grab something?
Grab my dick.
Something.
The way it's filmed, I felt like I was fucking flying to earth. I was like, oh shit!
Stop all that goddamn screaming and grab. Listen to the man.
And like moments like that is where you get the point of view from her helmet. And I mean, you talk about super disorienting, especially when you're watching it in IMAX.
I had to look
which
away from
added,
the screen at points because I was like, okay, I'm getting
you
vertigo.
you get dizzy. But I was like, wow, I'm curious. It kept me wondering, like, man, I wonder how this would look if it was just from the viewpoint of the helmet. I was like, this could have been possibly like the best space,
First-person shooter ever.
found footage in space, like fucking movie ever. I was like, whoa, this is fucked up. This is really doing like a really amazing effect right now.
You know what? See, he's laughing at you, man. I agree with you.
Oh, okay, thank
I
you.
don't do that. No, because he's laughing at something I said. I'm just fucking with him. No, I do agree with you, and the reason why I do is because you and I saw a movie. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but him and I saw a movie that if you ever just want to just be depressed and terrified one day, we'll do a double feature of Gravity with All Is Lost. Is that the name of it? Robert Redford.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
It's sort of the same premise, except it's almost like the opposite with the same premise. He's stranded in the water, and he's on a small boat. And there's no one around to help him out.
They ain't no tiger on the boat?
No, ain't no tiger on the boat.
If only. If only.
He is the tiger. But during that movie, there's only a couple of times where he talks. The rest of it, he says nothing. It's almost a silent film. And
you can't shut Sandra Bullock up.
But you cannot. And that's what I was saying. That's my complaint. Is because I think that this movie. Strong film, needless to say, and I think it's one of the best I've seen this year. Also, needless to say, but I think one of the things that they should have done is have more confidence to not do things that they feel like they have to do in a mainstream movie to not confuse the audience, which is her talking to herself all the time. That's just a peeve of mine.
I actually would go there with you because I thought having her not talk would have been stronger. If I had any complaint about this film, is that the script for what is there, because it's not so much about that. But it's light. Like, the movie's only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And when it was done, I was like, gosh, I was hoping there'd be more to this. Or when she was talking, I'm like, she doesn't need to talk, and what she's saying is not great.
Well, I mean, it kind of falls into a trapping where you kind of seen it in other movies played out before. Sure, the thing that's really taking you back is just the whole premise of it being in space. But yeah, I was part of it when she was talking. I was like, oh, okay, I've kind of seen where this character is dealing with isolation and. How writers bring in certain things about their personal, the backstory to kind of cater to it. But I was like, I really didn't feel like this necessarily needed that. I get why they did it.
Right.
But, yeah, it totally felt unnecessary.
Yeah. I'm actually going to disagree with you.
Exposition after the fact.
I'm actually going to disagree with you guys on that one. Of
course.
I actually considered this the same way you did at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I went, ultimately, art has to meet commerce if it wants to survive in the major metroplexes.
Sure.
And I thought this was a pretty flawless merging of the two for that purpose. I mean, you've got a character there the audience has to warm to. They have to identify. They have to put themselves in their shoes. Who else are you going to get to attract audiences all over the world but Sandra Bullock, first off? Who is, for the record, pretty much playing Sandra Bullock in this film. She is Sandra Bullock, every other Sandra Bullock character except with mad science skills.
Well, no, she's a Sandra Bullock from her serious movies. She's not the goofy
comedy
Sandra
one. Not the comedy.
Saying
one,
that though, this is the
Sandra
first
Bullock.
movie I've seen Sandra Bullock in where I actually liked her. I mean, I was
Really?
trying to really think. Yeah, I was really trying to think.
I could think of a couple.
Yeah, there's a couple.
I haven't seen a lot of her movies, but this is the first one I've seen in a long time where I like really. I'm glad she put herself in the role, dealing with the situations, her reactions, everything about her, just her mannerisms, really just blew me away. I was definitely with her throughout the whole movie. It wasn't one of those things where I'm like, I definitely think they could have had anybody else in this role and it wouldn't have mattered.
They were actually going to. I don't think they cast Sandra Bullock saying that this is going to be the drug, but I'm glad they did cast her because. Some of the people they wanted to cast, I was like, I ain't gonna buy that.
Well, she brings a
What, Miley Cyrus?
No, they were going to cast Blake Lively at one time, Scarlett Johansson, the one that they really.
I'd watch that one.
I would love to watch
Yeah,
that.
she's
but
that hot that even in a spacesuit.
I would love to watch that, but there is no way she's getting out of that spacesuit.
Well, no, they had a scene that would have been. No, you're right. You're right. Damn, but Scarlett Johansson, titties floating in space. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
if she can get him out of that spacesuit, I'm thinking that would be another obstacle.
The one that they were actually going to go with was Natalie Portman after Black Swan.
I think she would have worked in this role too.
Any of those could have worked.
The important thing is that this person exudes a certain amount of human warmth, really, and I think Bullock was a great choice for this. And those parts you're talking about that are definitely, to me, put in there more for the more commercial audience. Still, regardless, work and make this an easier film to really care about that character.
And just to let you know, as far as their conversations at the very beginning of the movie, when they're just they're going through the regular space routine of
when
just
she's nervous and he's calming her down.
I thought when she gave enough of that story to give you an idea about herself, I thought they probably could have included it in there for a bit. Not so much have it just where you feel like, okay, they just need some kind of dialogue. Because it seemed like they were catering to the people they know who is the general audience. Like, is an audience going to be able to sit through a film so quiet, just observing what this person is doing? Is that just going to work on itself? Where I definitely thought it would have been a bolder move if they just done that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but I think it works both ways.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd like to agree with you, but it really did pop me out of the movie.
Yeah,
and we're all three saying that.
Because
I'm sorry. Okay, so statistics.
No.
So you are wrong.
Let's beat him up.
I don't mean it that way.
Yeah, you do. Don't be afraid. Just go on it. So obviously you were wrong. Outvoted, man.
Leon's giving me the cue to bust out my bat.
Get off the island, man. No, but
I've been voted off.
Don't get us wrong. I speak for the rest of us here on the island. There's some parts I'm fine with. I mean, there've been some situations where, of course, every wreck I've been into has been followed with "oh shit," so I've been. It's just me in the car. So there's been times I've been like, "Oh fuck, shit, goddamn, come on, please." I can understand that. It's on the parts where they, like you say, like they're trying to give you exposition where we don't need her saying, "Okay, now I need to press this button. Come over here and do this." And we see you doing that. We get it.
Well,
I just don't buy
introduced
that.
to her as a character that's very nervous and talks to herself a lot anyway. And honestly, I think that like the isolation of space that she's around it makes sense for her to be talking to herself.
Actually, like to talk to herself about pushing buttons and how to survive. I was fine with that.
No,
It's
you
just
weren't.
is that point when she's
I was fine with that too.
That's
not what I was talking about.
All right.
There you turn against me like this.
Start the fucking car. Chew some gum so they don't smell the beer on your breath.
You forgot to put gas in.
But no, I had it was when she starts, like waxing on her life and stuff. Like we in the little bit of conversation she had with George Clooney in the beginning, we got that.
Yeah.
And what she says later doesn't even elaborate on it enough to where it's like, you know what, this is in the way. We already got it. Shut up.
It seems like it's really
It's
forcing.
kinda hammered in there.
Yeah, it's forcing you to have like this sympathy towards her already. Where it's like, no, we are already sympathizing with this poor ass woman lost in space right now.
We got it.
We get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know something. Sandra Bullock is good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to criticize her just because just a few pieces of dialogue.
You hate her, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Of course, I hate any woman I can't have. What are you talking about? She still got it, but no. And
she's around town. You might look up.
I keep hanging at her restaurant here, hoping that one day she'll walk in.
He's like,
So when is that homeless guy going to stop coming in here?
I think they tell her he's back. Don't come in.
She goes over to the maitre d' and says, like, I told you no niggers.
You're so racist. No, I just mean him.
Is that black guy ever going to order any food?
Stop ordering water.
Corey's sitting over here. Probably a lesbian.
I keep going there with flowers, just waiting. But
Bring in your DVD.
no, she's good, man, and George Clooney. I mean, these are people that we know are good. There's no big surprise.
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah.
He's top notch.
Yeah, but what you have to understand about going into this is that you're right. I mean, these names help draw people to the film, but this movie is bigger than any actor they could have gotten in there. I
The
think.
star of this
Space. You talk about me, man. Shut up.
The star of this movie is the technical work on it and the director.
That's what I was going to say. Yes, it's the director. I mean, and
It's groundbreaking.
I love this director, and if you don't know who Alfonso Cuarón is, I mean, I don't know if you said it. but Children of Man and
I love Children of Man
and
so
my
much.
favorite Harry Potter of all of them.
Prison
The only good
Yeah.
Harry Potter movie. Yes.
Itumama Tambien. It's funny. You should go back and watch some of his earlier films and see how he builds up to these big budget movies. What the hell are you talking about over there? Talking that shit.
Don't take his bait.
And I should know better too.
Yes.
Even Cyrus here, he just gritting his teeth
I'm
and not gonna
just
say
staring
nothing.
at him, going like, "Motherfucker!"
Fuck, man, he was looking at me too. When you two didn't say anything, I was the only one. He's like, well, I got one left right here.
Smiling like the Joker over here.
There's more fishies in this pond.
Right, Corey? The only good one, right?
There you, man.
Yes.
But yeah, no, you're right. Those are the big stars in this film, and that's not to say that normally for a movie where you say the special effects are the star of a film, well, we'd be thinking somebody like Michael Bay or something. We say, don't go see that. That's shitty. But here, it's impressive, man. What they've done, especially if you're watching on IMAX, they've immersed you in this situation. They put you in space. They put you in into the fear that these people feel, the beauty that they see.
IMAX IMAX is the one place. If you do go see this movie and you're really interested, the only place you should be seeing this is inside an IMAX.
Yeah, if you don't see it in IMAX, you're a loser.
Yeah,
Exactly. You're a jackass.
Yeah, I mean the only thing better than this is actually getting in a shuttle and going to space yourself, and you can't afford that shit.
wait a minute.
Yeah, Cyrus.
If you don't see this in IMAX, you might as well kill yourself.
Yeah, you might as well
Leon,
go fuck yourself.
You were at the screening with me.
What's that?
You were at the screening with me.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
I saw it in IMAX.
He was with me last
Well,
night.
you must have gone to see it again.
No, Cyrus, I was not there with you for
I
that.
could have sworn you were.
No, you know what? I can back him up because you did the same thing to me.
I think he's
You saw the same thing.
Cyrus, I think that was Cuba Gooding Jr.
I can't tell you guys apart. I mean, just specifically Leon and Cuba Gooding Jr. for the record. That was
I know. I like the way when I told him it wasn't me, he switched to you. Must have been Leon there.
Must have been another black
Somebody
guy.
black was there.
Somebody fucking.
Black motherfucker was there.
Somebody who kept talking through the movie the whole time.
Man, I was telling all sorts of personal shit to that guy sitting next to me. I thought it was one of y'all.
That black dude kept screaming, "When the aliens coming?"
Yeah. She said, when it gonna pop out of chest? Shit, I've seen this movie before. I know what's gonna happen. Should take a long time to get to that part. But
Is this white guy ever going to stop talking to me?
but yeah, man, give this a full price.
Yes, despite my problems with it, it's still a full price movie because of everything we've named, how technically great it is, and we talked so much about the IMAX, but the 3D is incredible too. Like, I mean, it really is like where a sea of debris is coming at you, and sure, you might flinch. You think you're gonna flinch from one, you flinch from all of it. It's like my nose kept wrinkling up, like God damn it, stop!
I actually had a hole in me when I walked out.
Yeah,
What
walk
the
out with
fuck?
shrapnel in
And, and the whole thing about running out of oxygen, I had to turn to Leon and said, breathe, Leon, because he was on his breath. He could breathe, Negro, breathe.
Hey man, when I watch a movie, I get into it.
I know you do.
Oh yeah, we seen you get into it.
He sits
you
as,
throw your
only guy I
head.
know sits as close as he can on purpose, trying to get in the movie.
I think Leon needs glasses. There's many times I've seen him like throw his head inside a book. I'm like, shit.
Wouldn't that be funny if this was like some sort of like after school special where Leon is all these years he's been sitting close to the screen saying, man, this is the best way to get in the movie. I like sitting this close. But the whole time he just couldn't see and didn't want to wear glasses.
Fucking blind? Yeah.
Yes, if only life was like a Fat Albert cartoon, that would be the case.
I look funny in glasses. Yes, you do.
But yeah, I give it a full price.
All right.
Yeah, this is completely immersive. Really enjoyed the hell out of this. It was one of those when it was over. I didn't want it to be over. I was like, hell, at the very end, I was like, please tell me there's a shark or something. One more.
Space shark
about that too.
You're kind of rooting for there to be one last obstacle because you're exhausted. You're like, come on, you gotta make it. But still, you're like, all right, come on. Like an octopus or something.
Well, we're actually taking a collection to blast you into space.
Yeah,
So
cool. That'll
it
be
will never end for you. Your wish come true.
I don't think you can put that on an Amazon wish list.
Yeah, we'll do it a Kickstarter.
Richard Gere did it.
Gonna launch you into Uranus.
But yeah, I give this a full price.
I'm right there with you guys. I have to admit, I was expecting like a better than sex movie just because of everyone just
Same here.
really losing their shit over it. But yeah, I mean, there's some parts where I was really like, okay, I kind of wish they did without this. But other than that, yeah, it is a complete and utter groundbreaking spectacle as far as just what you can really do now with cinema and really how immersed you can get into it. So yeah, man, I definitely go see this 3D IMAX. You have to. You just want to see something really refreshing and new and see the possible future into cinema.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor, see this.
Kids, don't be an astronaut.
Yeah.
Be a fireman. Don't do this shit. I would use this as if I worked at the fire department. I would use this as a recruitment video. I don't want to do that.
Don't want that to be you. You can be a hero down here on Earth.
Yeah, let's do the complete
Meanwhile-
opposite of space.
Meanwhile, NASA's like, someone quick, get a copy of Backdraft.
So where's home, Dr. Stone?
Lake Zurich, Illinois.
Is there somebody down there looking up, thinking about you?
I had a daughter. A little girl with brown hair.